Hi everybody. I have had a lot of questions about how to store my Kiwi lane. And while normally I store mine in my bag with my little handy dandy cheat sheet that I've made, that holds all of mine in a row, a lot of people, I charge about $40 to $60 for these. So a lot of people can't afford that, and I totally get it. Also, a lot of people can't make it out and about right now, so I get that too. So what I went ahead and did is I took a foam core board and I made a little box, and you can see how it sits like this. And I went ahead and put all my little templates and everything else into the box. And the first run that I did it, I just eyeballed it and I just, guesstimated what my sizes were and everything else. And I realized it's a little tight, even for everything that I already have. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I did this, but I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger so I get a little bit more wiggle room. Alrighty, so, and I'm going to give you the new dimensions and the bigger dimensions instead of the ones that I used for this one. The only thing that I used to make this is, like I said, I had foam core board, and I pre-cut all of my foam core board, so I'm not going to have to show you how to do that. But for those of you that don't know how to cut foam core board, easiest way is a rotary cutter, like a quilting ruler, and a large cutting mat. That is the easiest way to do it. You just roll that sucker right along, and it cuts it right straight through. It cuts like butter. It's great. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what those measurements are, and we'll get started putting this guy together. All right, let's get this up here. It's going to be really squeaky because my chair squeaks, and I'll apologize for that right now. It's an old chair, and I don't know where I put a WD-40. So let me figure out where I'm at with my little video here and get most of my room involved. Okay, so I'm right here. I'm going to mark my spot so you can see everything. All right, so there's my little pieces. And for all of the corners, edges, and everything else like that, I just had a simple roll of painter's tape, and that's all I used on the edges to kind of give it a little bit more reinforced structure and everything else on the sides. So I'm gonna just mark where I can see myself here so I know I'm not going out of frame showing you guys this. Okay, so here's the main piece, okay? And this main piece is 14 inches wide, and it is, I think I said it was 9 inches. Yeah, 9 inches. So it's 14 inches this way and 9 inches this way. Okay, and then all I did was I took, for mine, I did an angled piece to where this back was higher than my front. And I kind of like that stadium look, but for this one, to make it easy, I just went ahead and did it all the same size all the way around, so you wouldn't have to cut the angle. Okay, so I just did 3 inches tall by 14 inches in length, and that's going to be your back and your front, so you make 2 of those. And then I have 2 pieces for the sides here and here. Now you have to make these ones just a little bit smaller so that it can sit in between 2 of the side pieces. These are the cheap ones from Dollar Tree, and they are not exactly 1/4 of an inch wide. The more expensive ones from Walmart and other stores are. But these ones were they cost me $1, guys. I did this for $1. I kid you not. Everything else I already had. So, measure yourself, give yourself just a little bit under an inch, otherwise it'll have a little bit of a gap. But even if it does have a little bit of gap, it's fine. You can cover that with hot glue. And then, like I said, you'll reinforce the sides with painter's tape. Now, when I'm working with foam core board, I'm kind of anal retentive, and for the life of me, I don't know where I've put it. But I don't like having, there it is. I don't like having sharp edges. I like having them flat. And if you notice, when you cut you don't always get a very clean edge. And I know that's not going to look right, but you don't get a very clean edge. So what I do is I take one of those nail file things from the salons with a coarse edge, and I just go all the way and try and straighten that angle as much as I can, and then just go in a little tiny bit on that edge and get it down so that I don't get my hand, and then I go over it with a towel so I'm not slicing my hand just in case. But as you can see, it makes a lot of dust, so it's just something I prefer to do. You don't have to if you don't want to. I just find that the glue adheres a little bit better to a straight flat edge, so it's entirely up to you. For this one, I won't do it for everything because it does make a mess and it does take a lot of time. So for all intents and purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and get down to it. Everybody hot glues differently. Some people lay it down, some people lay it on the foam. For most intents and purposes with hot glue, if you lay it directly down on this foam, what can wind up happening is you can melt the foam if you're using a high temp glue gun, which is fine because then the glue kind of gets in there a little bit. This is a little bit messy, you guys, so don't think that you're going to get away with making this a clean sweep. I'm going to make sure that my piece is up to my edge, otherwise everything won't fit. Okay, and I have a handy dandy little tool from Sizzix that helps me flatten my glue out. I love this thing. I got it when I got my Sizzix glue gun. And this one does all my nice little edges to kind of get that glue nicely in there. So I really love it. Okay, so that's your first one. Okay, and that's 90 degrees. You can blow on that edge just a little bit to help kind of cool it down a little bit. Get a drink of water. Wait a minute. Okay. So that's the first part. The second part, I don't glue this one down here. I actually glue the sides down first. Okay, so I'm gonna glue this side down here first. So I'm gonna put my glue. Weird kind of doing it away from you, sorry. You're gonna go through a couple of glue sticks on this one, so if you've got that bigger gun that actually has the larger, the larger sticks, I would highly recommend that. I'm gonna again do my little edges, make sure I've got everything. Oops, let's see if you can see. Ooh, I just stuck my finger on the other side. So this just kind of smooths it down a little bit on these edges here. And then on the outside as well. I'll do that. Okay. Now, when you're working with hot glue, it does have a little bit of wiggle room, so you got a little bit of forgivability there with it. It does get messier than heck, though, too. So that's the only drawback to it, I think. But, ooh, where'd it go? No, there it is. I just keep a scratch piece of paper handy on the outside so that I can wipe it all off. Okay, so then we're going to do this other side over here. Going to do the same thing. I just started a brand new glue stick, so it's going to get a little bit. It's not gripping them very well because I didn't use the Sizzix brand. Okay, here we go. Okay, and again, get it in there. Stick it in. Wedge my outsides. Doesn't look like I have very much on the inside, so it's good. Okay. Kind of clean up that edge just a bit. Okay. Just wipe my excess off. Alright, so there's the two sides. Easy peasy jumping easy. Okay, now we're going to do this last edge here. And for that one, I'm kind of going to angle it up a little bit because I just find that it's easier to kind of work with that way. Going to attach a second glue piece to my first glue stick because I know I'm going to use a lot of it. Alright, sorry about that. Had to make my glue stick longer. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to go ahead and do my long... I'm sorry it's not in camera. And then I'm going to do that there. And do that there. Okay. And then I'm going to stick this in like that. And then lower it down on top. So I'm going to hold it here and then push it down. Okay. Just like that. And don't stick your finger in hot glue. It kind of hurts. Okay, my inside's looking good. Alright, so for all intents and purposes, that's done. That's your box. You've got all 4 sides glued. Now, if you're like me and you like to have your templates separated and put into different categories, what I went ahead and did was I cut 2 pieces and then I can make little slots and little sections. Now, just keep in mind when you're doing this and you're putting these slots and sections in, you're going to lose about 1/2 inch of storage because each one of these is about 1/4 inch thick. So it's up to you if you want to do that or not. This time around, I think I'm going to go ahead and just separate my borders and my borders and my other pieces. So I'm just going to separate it roughly because I did it the first time and I didn't really give myself enough room. So I'm going to take mine, I'm going to put them in here, and I'm going to see where I want to kind of, yeah, I think that's enough room. That'll give me a little bit of more play. Although, now that I have 2 of these, I could probably just do different storage there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to mark where I'm going to put that. Okay. And then here I go with my little glue again. I am not the best person in the world when it comes to glue, y'all. Or straight lines. So, like, I am funny with it. Okay, here we go. Come in from here, kind of pick up the glue, and then get it in. Just like that. And then I don't need this. So take that up. And take that up. Okay. Oops, I did that out of frame, didn't I? I'm sorry about that. Alright, so there we go. So I put just one little thing in the side there, and that's good to go. Alright, so now it's kind of ugly because you got all this white showing and all that good fun stuff, and it's only being held together with hot glue. So, what I want to do is I want to get these edges and these corners, I want to make them much stronger. So, I'm just going to take my painter's tape. Okay. And you can buy black masking tape. Unfortunately, mine is only 1/2 inch, so it doesn't really cover exactly how much I need it to. So I went ahead and ditched it. Okay. And then all I do is I just go over these corners like that. And then on the top, so you can see it, I just cut off this excess on the top here. And then you can tear it or you can cut it, whichever way you want to do it. Because I'm going to go ahead and go over this top with a different piece anyways, so that doesn't matter. Okay. Alright, so do all of those. Just like that. Sorry, I'm pre-cutting a couple of my tapes so I can just put them down. Trying to make it a little faster so you don't have to hear me droning on and on and on and on. Okay, some of the things you're going to see like this, they have a little bit of a wiggle because the hot glue didn't, you know, dry perfectly straight, which, you know, hey, it's going to happen. It's not that big of a deal. This doesn't have to be aesthetically beautiful. However, if you would like to make it aesthetically beautiful, then I would suggest one of the things that I do, and I'll grab one real quick so you can see it. Okay, I say really quickly, but it's never really quickly because I never know where I put things because I move them so much. So you'll have to forgive me there. Ah, here's one. I cover my boxes with fabric. So it's just Mod Podge and then putting the fabric over and then sticking it down to the Mod Podge. But it gives it extra reinforcements and strength because the fabric is binded to the boards with the Mod Podge. So it works really nicely. And it's really pretty because you can make it whatever fabric choice you like. Okay, so I've got all 4 of my corners. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to go edge to edge. Okay, and then my arm's going to be a little in the way, sorry. I'm left-handed, so it's a little awkward. And then cut it so that it goes just inside that edge. Again, if it's not perfect, it's not going to be a deal breaker if it's not totally perfect. Okay, and then I just cover that. The reason why I cover this is because sometimes when you're cutting any kind of board or paper with elastic, these edges can get sharp. So you'll want to cut those edges or cover them. Excuse me. Because if they're not covered, they can and will cut you. I have learned this from many years of experience. And many paper cuts. We should have a show of 1,000,001 paper cuts later. What we've learned. Okay. So that. Okay. Painter's tape does like to and want to stick to itself. So be wary of those edges on the corners. If you want to go ahead and put an extra painter's tape in the corner on the inside, you can. The only reason why I don't is because I find that if it does lift or anything, if I have my template cases in here, they'll stick. So that's the only reason why I don't do that. But I still will do a cover on this inside piece. Okay. Gotta cut that one a little bit first to get it in there. All right, here we go. There she goes. All right. And there it is. Okay. If you want to reinforce your bottom, this bottom piece here, you can also do tape on the bottom. That's entirely up to you. I find that this is sitting on top of it, and the most important pieces are going to be pulled forward and backwards from the templates in the pocket sitting there. So, but if you want to do it the way that I would do it, or I would suggest to do it, if I can get a little bit on frame, is to go ahead and do corner and then get it over. Okay, just like so. And then twist and do the same all the way around. Now you can do folded over corners. That's entirely up to you. Again, it's aesthetics. I don't like the bulkiness. I just want the security. Okay. Okay. And last but not least, ooh, ow. Make sure you don't cut yourself with those scissors because those dang things are sharp. Owie. Yeah, that's smart. Anyways, okay, so one paper cut injury later, actually scissor cut, technically. Box is done. There we are. And then you can put your packs in there. And it's good to go. All set. Anyways, so there it is. Hope you like it. And oop, I missed a side. Ha ha, I gotta go back and do that. Anyways, this is about a 20-minute video, so I will let you guys go, and thank you for watching and appreciate it. Hope you like.